My name's Lisa. I'm coming to you from Butler, Missouri. Rocking Chair Quilts is the name of our store. And I want to tell you something easy to make, good if you need an extra holiday decoration for your table. This is called a 10-minute table runner. I timed mine today. Mine are 15 minutes, so I'm going to be making a 15-minute table runner. But according to this, it's supposed to be 10 minutes. So the very first thing you're going to need are two fabrics. One that is a third of a yard, and that's going to be my focal fabric, and one that is a half yard that is going to be the back and the side borders. So after I have my two fabrics, I'm going to take them and lay them out. Both of them are with the fabric still, and I'm going to sew them along one of the raw edges. It says to use 1/2 inch seam allowance. I did my 1/4 inch seam allowance just because that's what I'm used to. Once you get one seam done, you're going to take the other raw edge and just pull it over to this side, match these two up, and sew along this side. And once you have that done, it's going to look like this. So we have both of our sides, and you'll notice they're not going to lay flat because this one's only 12 inches while this one is 18. We're going to go and trim off one of the edges, and I just cut the selvage off because I was afraid it might show because this one is a wide selvage. Mine ended up being the same because these two were from the same line of fabric. They ended up being the same width, so I didn't have to make them even. If they don't come out even, make them even. Or if you have a selvage on there, go ahead and take it off. Then we're going to take this and press it towards the border, I guess, away from the center on both sides. And I would do that over here on this side too.
Is this when you kind of even it up, or can you go ahead and just do it regardless?
First you want to press that seam.
Oh,
And
okay.
then what you're going to do is center it. But you center it when it's turned right side out.
Oh,
So we're going to turn it. And remember, once again, we do not have the same dimensions on our fabrics, so they're not going to lay flat. And on this one, I want to look and see, I want to center this 12-inch piece.
so you pretty much just eyeball it?
Yeah, I did. And then I just pressed it. This seam allowance would already be pressed. And I ended up with about 2 inches on either side, which after seam allowance ended up being about 1.5 inches. Press it, and then you're going to take it and you're going to fold it with the center piece, the focal fabric, to the outside. And I'm going to show you on this one what you do to that. Here's one that looks better because it's already pressed. So you're going to sew along this. It's just folded in half. Focal fabrics to the outside. I'm going to sew along this side.
Do you still
I'm
just
gonna
use a
sew on this
1/4 of an
side.
inch?
I took a little deeper seam allowance on this because I didn't cut off one of the ends. This selvage was still on there. It didn't have the white in the selvage, so I didn't think I needed to cut it off. Once you
Okay.
get it to this point, you're almost done, because then you're going to I press this seam open, and I'm going to just flip it. Poke the point out. And do the same on this side. Poke the point out. And then this should come down the center of the whole table runner. But now
Do you
it's
just
done.
do you just press it again now?
I didn't yet, and it still lays pretty flat, but you can press it. You can embellish it. You could just stitch across this and call it done. You could put a pretty button right here and have an ornament on it. I've done that on this one up here. I'm going to tell them what this is going to look like. So this was one made years ago, and I put a yo-yo with a button on it. It just dresses it up a bit. You could use a decorative stitch on your sewing machine and go across this end here, kind of make it look lacy. But that's my version of the 10-minute table runner. Like I said, it takes about 15 minutes for me, and hopefully you like it and will want to make one.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us.